So I feel like most people can agree, one-tricking has been a problem that's been plaguing Overwatch for quite a while. Getting into a game, having 4 DPS players that will only play that one character, doesn't really fit your team comp, doesn't really fit anything. That game's just kind of down the trash can. Maybe you have 2 Mercy mains that will only play Mercy, and otherwise they troll. That happens quite a bit also. Overall, I feel like most people, over the time that this game's just evolved, have agreed we need to kind of hurt this problem, and finally Blizzard is addressing it in the new update in Overwatch Season 8. And how they're doing it is that they're making so that past Diamond, there's no more performance-based SR. Essentially, your stats don't really matter anymore. You might have the most healing of all time, but that doesn't matter. Instead, what matters is getting a good team comp and winning the game, and putting out good big plays with your team to win that game. I feel like overall this should help, should reduce some of the toxicity, and hopefully just get a lot more people playing good characters and trying to fix up team comps and not focusing on themselves. But in Season 8, I'm going to tell you guys why I feel like there's still going to be quite a few one-tricks, and while I feel like they will eventually go away down the seasons in the future, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever there is, I'm going to tell you guys why I feel like in Season 8 there's still going to be a lot of one-tricks, and why you should still expect quite a few of them, at least early on. So my first idea to why I feel like there's going to be a lot of these guys is that for many one-trick players, they actually just want to play one hero and see how high they can get to. Now, I feel like this more goes over a lot of Smurf accounts, which you're going to see quite a bit, you know, playing one hero and just trying to grind that and trying to rank up. But even on a lot of people's main accounts, they just want to play a hero and see how high they can get and see how good they can get with that hero. And for a lot of them, performance-based SR wasn't really a thought. While it was a good benefit for them, and while it did help them out, and while it made them climb a little bit faster, and while there was a lot of good stuff going for them just by playing one hero, I feel like there's still going to be quite a few players that are just playing who they always played because they like to play them, and they're not going to switch, and that's just kind of how it goes because they like that player, or I guess they really just like that hero. As well with that, many players just kind of have a hero that they just want to play. Maybe they don't want to even see how high they can get in the SR system like the previous point. Maybe they just enjoy hero and they won't switch either. And I've really heard a lot of one-tricks doing this. I've seen a lot of players that just have their favorite hero, and sometimes you just gotta have to deal with that. Hopefully, eventually they're gonna kind of switch how they're thinking, but that's something that just kind of happens as well. Now, for some of my bigger points, here we go with one of them. I think for a lot of players, and this is something that's I thought was kind of weird, but then I actually thought about, and I think this is kind of how it goes in a lot of cases. For many players, I think it's easier for them to win with a bad team comp rather than trying to win with a hero that they suck at, or win with a role that they aren't really that great at. Let's say that you're a very good Soldier 76 and you already have 2 DPS, but you have 2 supports and 1 tank already, like an Orisa. Maybe it would be better for you to go the second tank, but a lot of players would rather go the 3rd DPS because they feel like they can carry a lot more, they can do a lot more damage, and overall they're probably just more likely to win that game, even though the team comp's not quite as good. I think that while eventually this might kind of change because people might try to learn new heroes to just get better team comps, that's really the only fix. For a lot of players, I feel like they're still going to just be like, hey, I can get into this game, and if I play the hero that I'm good at, even with a bad team comp, I should be able to win. And that's another reason why I feel like there's still going to be quite a few one-tricks, because people just want to play heroes that they're good at in a game, rather than, you know, making a good team comp, but playing somebody that they honestly aren't way too great at. Another thing that I also should mention, though, about one-tricks, and why a lot of people won't stop, is that it's kind of been embedded by YouTubers, by streamers, and by just word of mouth, that the best way to get better at the game, is, really quickly at least, is to still one-trick. And in a lot of cases, this is still true, because you get into games, and you keep grinding the same character over and over and over and over, and while you might not be learning how every character works, and while you might not be learning, you know, how to play the game in general, you're getting really good at that character. And I feel like especially if you play a tank, you kind of just can one trick. Maybe even a support in a lot of cases. There's not way too much bad for you in that case. And you're going to get a lot better than everyone else because you're going to have a lot more time on that character than everyone else. And while in the long run, it's probably going to hurt you because you're going to have a lot of bad team comps and you're not really going to fit into a lot of different games, especially the higher elo you get. For the short term, it does feel really good because you are improving a lot faster than other people. And I feel like this plain fact creates a lot of one tricks because if you're flexing all over the place, you are getting better at the game, but it's very hard to notice. And especially if you aren't raising an SR, it's extremely hard to notice. But again, if you just want to get good at the game fast, one-tricking still is just a thing. That's just kind of how games work. In every game that you play, you have a main in Smash Brothers, you play somebody in League of Legends, you know, favorite gun in CSGO, I don't know. Whatever you have, just playing one thing over and over and over again is just kind of the best way to get better. And I hope that people, after this amount of seasons, have kind of got good at their characters and that they're willing to spread out into other characters. But I can't really say that they're going to do that, and I feel like that's another reason why at least newer players are probably going to keep one-tricking. A different thing I should also say, I guess, about one-tricks in this new season is that unless a lot of one-tricks start tanking an SR really, really quickly, I think a lot of them won't really care about the changes, honestly. Especially if they have a 50% plus win rate. Because it's not really that much different than before. I mean, if they're playing a lot of games and they, let's say, have a 52, 53% win rate, even if they're throwing a lot of rounds, well, they still have a positive win rate. They're still doing pretty well. They're still carrying a lot of their games. They're still putting out a lot of damage, putting out a lot of utility, whatever it is. If it's someone like Sombra, getting a lot of nice hacks out that a lot of other players couldn't really go for. And I feel like with unless a lot of these players just start going straight down the hole, because let's say they had a negative win rate, of course they're going to start just flying straight down. Unless that happens, I think for a lot of players it's just going to not really be a change that matters to them. I hope that instead of the change actually like hurting them as far as lowering their SR, it kind of scares players into thinking that their SR is going to be lowered, and then they start playing a lot of other heroes. And I hope that's the way that a lot of these players start expanding their horizons and start doing a lot of other things and stop one-tricking. But unless their SR actually goes down, I think for a lot of players, they're going to just kind of think, you know, it's maybe good enough as it is. And I don't know, I think that could also just kind of continue the problem that we're already having right now. And I guess one of the final things I want to talk about is that a lot of the best players in this game already kind of one-trick, or at least two-trick or something like that, where they have one main hero and then play a little bit of a side hero. And I feel like a lot of people just continue to follow these players' examples. And I agree, this is still the best way to get better at the game. This is still the best way to climb to the top. This is still the best way to just kind of improve. But even if that's the case, I feel like it's a really toxic way to do this and creates a toxic environment, and I think everyone can agree with that. And I hope that maybe as the new season come out, a lot of the top players just kind of think, oh, maybe I can start playing other characters, maybe I can start going around doing whatever. And I know that a lot of players won't, because simply put, you just want to be the best of one character, because a lot of people will watch a stream or watch whatever. But I don't know, I feel like if we had some more examples like that as well, that we're just playing multiple heroes or even just filled from time to time, that could help a lot of people as well, because, you know, somebody needs some role models to help out with this. Now, in the end, I do feel like one-tricking, again, will still be a problem for a while, but I think it will probably get a little bit better. Especially for DPS players, I think you'll be able to play a little bit more DPS, because people will stop one-tricking as much and hopefully play some other roles. But as well, you know, maybe get yourself ready to play some other roles. One problem that I've had for a while because of one-tricks and because of players, I guess, just giving up at the end of Season 7, is that I couldn't really ever play Reaper. And maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe you want to play a certain DPS like Soldier, McCree, Reaper, Doomfist, anyone like that, maybe even a Sombra or something. I hope that there's slightly less one-tricking involved. I hope that maybe you can get your character a little bit more often. And I feel like especially for DPS, one-tricking has hurt the most. And in Season 8, I still think that this problem is not really going to be fixed all the way, but I feel like it will definitely be helped. And especially if you just start to try to create a good environment where people can switch up their heroes, where people can try out new picks, and where you don't just rage at someone for maybe not doing the best all the time for playing a new role, like playing tank or playing support. I think that could be one of the best ways to get people off of one-tricks. I feel like it definitely is a community thing, instead of just a thing that Blizzard has to try to push in front of us, because, well, you know, Blizzard pushing stuff in front of us does work in a lot of cases. It can't always change the way a lot of the community thinks. Overall, I do feel like this is a good change, and the only other real big change that I feel like could help with the one-tricking problem, and I guess with just the problem of Overwatch competitive, is either adding a guild system, a role queue system, a role finder system, or anything like that to make so that the games kind of just queue you up with like a 2-2-2 or like a 2-2, one, you know, tank and one flex, something like that. I don't know, that could kind of help as well, because one of the main problems other than just one-tricks is a lot of players only playing one role, and that can also hurt you a lot because you only have, you know, just a lot of players playing tank one game. That could just be an automatic loss, but I guess we're going to kind of have to wait for that in the future, and hopefully that will be fixed eventually as well, maybe in Season 9 or in Season 10. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below, what way do you think will help stop one-tricks in the future? And do you have any ideas that you feel like Blizzard could implement to help stop these people from, I guess, just one-tricking all the time? I feel like they did make a really good choice here, though. And I hope that it does actually work out for them, because I'm excited to get into Season 8, to get a lot of these changes out, and hopefully start climbing again in the new season. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.